Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. Sometimes you just wanna take it easy and grind a bit in Maplestory. Especially for those people, here are 10 amazing lazy grinder classes. The 10 classes in this list are not placed in any order, and this isn't the top 10 list either. Please keep this in mind. For this video, I picked classes that don't require much funding to grind nicely, so no Night Lords who can grind very easily but only when they hit like 25k stats, and no class that requires a ton of button pressing and focus like Arc, Blaster or Hoyoung. If you're more of the stand still and chill kinda guy, then check out the Resistance Battle Mage. Before 5th job this class can struggle, but after their 5th job advancement they turn into one of the laziest grinders in the game. Battle Mages can place down their 5th job summons, which can cover a large area and just chill while their summons do all the work. Their Grim Harvest skill is a massive summon that attacks a large portion of the map, and the more monsters it defeats, the longer it stays on the map, plus this skill can be moved in case you don't like its placement. With that already active on the map, Battle Mage summons their 4 Altars of Annihilation, which cannot be placed super far apart, but far enough to work for most maps. A ball bounces between those altars, tearing through anything. So basically, for about 40 seconds after placing down your skills, you can spend your time looting, watching Netflix, or just look at the monsters disappearing. But there is a short cooldown when your summons aren't active. During that time, you activate your other 5th job skill, Aura Sight, and teleport around the map with a long range attack that quickly takes care of anything while you're buffed a ton at the same time. Battle Mages have high HP, passive healing, and the best teleport in the game, so you can just take it easy and grind with very few button presses. But before we continue our list, a word from today's video sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. You've seen Raid before on this channel, but they're back with another big update, adding a ton of new things, but my favorite thing in this game is still raiding some good old bosses. And one of my favorite and most challenging boss fights is with the boss Sylvania. Some bosses require tactics and certain team compositions rather than brute force, and this boss is one of them. She's all about healing. She heals herself for about half her health every turn and deals damage based on how much health she has, so she's a tough nut to crack. But if you can apply some healing debuffs on her and bring champs that can remove enemy buffs, she's actually pretty manageable. There was also another huge update to the Doom Tower, adding even more bosses to take on and secret rooms to discover, all for those shiny new artifacts. And with the new super raids, it's even easier to speed up your progress, so now is the best time to start playing. If you want to get a huge head start in Raid, all you have to do is hit the link in the video description or scan the QR code on the top right. All new players will get the epic hero Coninck, who is amazing in the Doom Tower by the way, 200k silver, 1 EXP boost, 1 energy refill and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon another awesome champion as soon as you get in the game. You can claim them from your inbox in the top right of your screen. The code is only available for the next 30 days, so be quick. So make sure to check out Raid Shadow Legends and see you in game soon. And now back to the video. The next class on this list is the Archer Pathfinder. Pathfinders mostly use their Cardinal Burst and Cardinal Deluge skills put together on a macro. The Burst skill has an incredible hitbox, and the additional arrows that fly out with Deluge makes it very easy to hit monsters, even those that are further away. Pathfinder's rotation depends on the map that they're in. In smaller maps like this, they can literally look left, blow stuff up, look right and blow stuff up again. They don't even need to use any other skills, and it's not like they have a ton of buffs to manage or anything like that. In bigger maps, they can utilize their excellent mobility to get around the map quickly, but Pathfinders still mostly use their one button macro to blow up everything while moving around the map. This class is pretty strong early on, and after the 2nd job advancement your mobbing doesn't really change anymore, besides a couple of buffs that it gets in the 3rd and 4th job. It will be those same 2 skills all the way until level 300. Very straightforward and very easy to use. Next up is another mage class, and there will be plenty more mage classes in this video. The OG king of grinding, the Explorer Ice Lighting Mage, specializes in screen filling attacks that can easily take out large groups of monsters. This class uses their Ice Age skill to deal damage to basically the entire screen, leaving the ground frozen for 15 seconds, dealing even more damage to new monsters that spawn. They can place down their Spirit of the Snow to deal damage to a large portion of the map for another 30 seconds, that's like a really useful summon. Their Bolt Barrage is amazing for clearing out monsters on multiple platforms, and their 4th job skills, Chain Lightning, Frozen Orb and Blizzard, help out a ton as well. But it's their 5th job skills that really carry this class. You'll need to move around the map to clear though, as Chain Lightning doesn't have the most amazing reach. Ice Lighting Mages are very solid mobbers with easy to use skills. They are probably the best grinders out of the Explorer Magicians, and they're very easy to use with a low amount of skills to cycle through. They also have increased buff duration, meaning you'll have to focus less on your buffs as well. You can tell some classes are OP when they are both in the amazing bossing video video and in this one. But Adele managed it. Adele's grinding is very simple. She uses her skill Cleave, monsters die, Adele jumps to the next platform, uses Cleave again, and then monsters die again, and so forth and so forth. This combined with their Hunting Decree skill that can summon up to 6 swords that fly around, she can easily eviscerate the entire map. Her 5th job skills only complement her grinding, summoning more swords, bigger swords, and a storm of swords. Adele can spawn crystals on the map as well, she can rush towards to for an additional buff that stacks 2 times, increasing her damage in case you need it just a bit more. This buff only lasts for 30 seconds though. That and her swords only lasting for 4 seconds does mean that this class have to do a little bit of micromanagement every few seconds than just jumping around and using Cleave. This will feel like second nature for most Adele mains, and you don't need to think much about it if you just make sure to use those 2 skills in between your rotations. Besides that, Adele can just happily jump around, destroying anything in her path with a press of a button. If the earlier mentioned Ice Lighting Mage piqued your interest, but you wish Chain Lightning had just a bit more range, then this class might be something for you. The hero magician Luminous is a monster when it comes to grinding. This class loves smaller maps, actually bigger maps as well, doesn't even matter. You're just facing left and right, and reflection is enough to clear out most parts of the map. Funded Luminous don't even use their dark skills anymore once reflection can one-shot without being in light mode. I myself am not funded enough to do that though, so I'll have to walk around with my dark skills every now and then. When in equilibrium mode, Luminous can place down their 5th job summon, Gate of Light, which has a massive attack range, and their Ether Conduit can help a lot with clearing out the map. That and their Dead Side skill has massive range as well that will make grinding a lot easier and fun as well while cycling through your light and dark modes. Trading a high level Luminous might even be boring to some, because literally all you do is spam reflection left and right and that's about it. It's the perfect class for anyone who wants to play Maplestory while barely playing Maplestory. I think out of all classes on this list, a well-funded Luminous is probably the laziest grinder. Now I myself am not a person that goes for perfect rotation and loot cycles, I just want to jump around and destroy some monsters, and a class that fits the type of playstyle perfectly is the Demon Slayer. Demon Slayers use their 4th job Infernal Concussion to grind. In their 5th job they also get a big snake that they can summon to deal damage for a little while, and they can even summon some demon buddies to help clear out a large portion of the map, and they can enhance their basic attack to destroy most of the map as well. If you're training in a traditional way, you just cycle through your 5th job skills and use Infernal Concussion and that's about it. But if you want to go for some crazier training, Demon Slayers have a skill called Chaos Lock that can teleport them to nearby monsters. So even in bigger maps, you can just teleport to monsters and use Infernal Concussion and then just repeat. So teleport, Infernal Concussion, teleport, Infernal Concussion. This used to be the #1 method of grinding. I don't think it's used that much anymore, but technically you don't even have to move. You just teleport around and use your skills and your buffs every now and then. Actually, that's the only downside of this class. You'll have to keep up your buff Blue Blood until you can one-shot monsters without it. This skill doubles your lines, pretty cool. There are a few other buffs that you'll have to use as well, but it's nothing too crazy. And with high base damage, this class is very easy to get into. Time for our next mage class, Ilium. A class that is amazing at grinding and is very, very lazy. Ilium has a playstyle that you gotta like though, directing his attacks towards his battery, turning them into EXP generating machines. High level Iliums are very similar to Luminous in that sense. They look left, throw their battery around, use spells, cause explosions, look to the right, throw your battery there, etc. But they also have a bar, and once it fills up, they can transform into an avatar of destruction or a god or something. They fly around, explosions happen, more monsters die. So besides their very lazy part, they also have a little bit of an active part, but they're basically in god mode, so it's still pretty chill. But it's something different, you know. If you want to play a Luminous that has a little bit more action to it, then Ilium might be something to look into. They can also summon a big robot that takes care of a big portion of the map, so there is plenty of damage to dish out, and this class is surprisingly strong, even without a lot of funding. Once you reach 5th job, you can place down extra batteries to direct your attacks to, and Ilium can shoot freaking laser beams in between them, so it's kinda like Luminous, but with a few more buttons to press. Another amazing warrior that makes every other class look like fools is Hayato. Imagine actually having to move around and attack. This class does require a bit more funding at higher levels, and getting its nodes in order can be a pain, but their grinding is absolutely insane. Hayatos have big range attacks on very short cooldowns. On smaller maps like this one, he just looks left and right and that's about it. Just alternate between your 5th job skills and your hyper skill Falcon's Honor. In this map, for example, I just use Falcon's Honor, Instant Slice, and I just do Phantom Blade, and that's about it. Every now and then I use their other Battle Jutsu Ultimate Will and their Zanku skill to recover sword energy, and I'm good to go again. I literally never run out of sword energy that is needed for some of the skills. This class can be a pain to get the 5th job, and one-shotting monsters might not always be easy, but putting some work in this class and it will definitely pay off, and it will make it one of the laziest grinders in the game, where your only fear is memory leaking because some of her skills are a little bit buggy. And then there is the other Sengoku class, Kana. Of course Kana has to be on this list. Kana increases spawn rate. Kana is the best grinder in the game. She has a pretty straightforward way of grinding, and she can put down a domain that can cover a large portion of the map as well, dealing damage and buffing her early on. Kana does suffer a little bit from lower damage early on, but she turns into a real powerhouse really fast. She easily just teleports around and uses her Shikigami hunting and lets her summons do most of the work. She has a couple of big attacks as well, but her strongest assets are definitely her spawn increasing and domain 5th job skill. That skill that's like the big one in the map. It deals damage and it gives a ton of buffs like attack speed and final damage. Kana perhaps isn't the laziest grinder on this list, but she's definitely the fastest grinder out of all of them, thanks to her kit and spawn increasing abilities. Before we conclude today's video, I want to add some honorable mentions. There are plenty of classes that can grind pretty well, like Xenon, who works kinda similar to Battle Mage with plenty of summons to help clear out the map. Zero can be a really great grinder as well with a little bit more funding. Sure, you'll need to combo, but it's basically the same combo over and over. And once Buccaneers get enough funding, they can one-shot with Lord of the Deep, that dragon that circles around them, and they become super duper lazy. Their grinding is basically jumping around the map, but it does take quite a bit of funding. Kinesis has some great grinding capabilities as well, and so does Beastamer, but there were already so many magicians in this video. Beastamer's Hawk mode is pretty crazy at the moment, by the way. For the final spot in this video, I was actually heavily doubting which class to put, because there is the Dawn Warrior, who has really easy and simple grinding, a lot of damage and high amounts of alliance on their attacks, but this list is basically just mages and warriors and one archer, and I wanted to include the other job branches as well. So in the end, I went with Cannoneer. Cannoneers excel at map control with their 5th job skills and long range cannon bazooka skill. This class has a few more skills and summons to keep in mind, but it is just amazing at grinding without combos or anything like that. This class just summons really big cannonballs that move slowly across the map while you yourself can take care of other platforms. They can summon additional monkeys to help them out clear the map, and their Poolmaker skill allows for even more attacks all across the map, combined with their The Nuclear Option skill that leaves the ground scorched and has a massive vertical attack range. They can grind surprisingly well. Most of their skills are on short cooldowns, and their grinding is very simple and straightforward, albeit a bit more to keep in mind than some classes on this list. But when you're training a Cannoneer, there isn't a time when there aren't explosions happening on the map, and not only is it very easy to play this class, it's also pretty fun as well. And those were 10 classes that are amazing for lazy grinders. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, many thanks to our members for making this video possible. Thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian Hanoy, FLX, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Dries Zumker, Wiley, Francisco Sousa, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, ceemak, Saffronyx, Lorenzo, BG Extremes, Anwar NHI, Brendon, Frank Bouquit, Ziggy Deer, Flidiot, Beamer WT, Knifesu, Chen125, Cloudfix, Gusus Rodriguez, SirQQ Morse, Froggy11, 32655, Grayson Lee, Ricer RU, Brandon Cam, Vira, Bruno H, Trevor, Yuki436, Afterlord_MS, Sinfolido, Ratius, John Man, Lucky Beats, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Stevie Zhang, Yuruski TV, Soli Shinauda, Heopan, Tuzira, Joshua Alvarez, Striker Elk, Nok MSS, Nuyu, Tai Duang Pan, and Victor Sundstrom. Thank you all so much for watching, stay safe, and happy mapling!